Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Jo Phillips, otherwise known as JoOutLoud, and tonight I'm featuring Dennis Cole, who's actually the fire chief for the city of Lacombe. Dennis, thanks for hanging out with me.
Thanks for having me.
All right, so it's Fire Prevention Month. Is that accurate?
Yeah, Fire Prevention Week usually runs for a week, which we ran a couple weeks ago. But we
Okay,
tie it in throughout the month. But yeah,
gotcha. And you guys are working on recruitment right now.
yeah. So that's our biggest focus right now is we're doing a fall recruitment. Run it through the month of September, October. Get the word out there, trying to generate some interest, get some applications coming in, and we're looking at starting a new recruit class probably early New Year, probably around February or somewhere.
How many, when you are recruiting, how many do you hope to have apply versus how many you actually put through?
I would like to be able to turn people away. That would be a good thing. But right now, I checked today and we have 10 applicants submitted already, which is great. So we're looking to get hopefully a class of 10 to 12 to put through
Okay.
next year.
Awesome. And do like what's the rate of survival like from the start of the class to the people who actually become firefighters with you?
Usually we're at about a 75% success rate.
Hmm.
So the majority of the class actually makes it through because one thing about it, once you get working in the class and working with the other new recruits, everybody pushes everybody, right? So nobody wants to see anybody drop out. It's just some people realize that, hey, this is not for me, or just don't have the time commitments for it, which we understand, right? Everybody's got busy lives that are happening these days.
Mhm.
But yeah, like I said, everybody pushes
Yeah.
everybody, and if you're going to commit to it, you will get through it.
So let's get that out of the way at the very beginning, the requirements, just in case people drop off. Let's get the most important stuff said.
Yeah.
So for somebody who's considering joining or applying, what are they exactly applying for?
So what we have here is we have it's called a paid on-call firefighter position. So basically, it's a part-time job. Okay, so we don't have people here at the station 24/7. Basically, everybody carries a radio, and if we get a call, everybody gets dispatched and responds to the station. So the minute you get dispatched is basically when the pay starts. So we
Okay.
do like a 2 or 3 hour minimum pay. So depending on how long you're out for, you get paid for the time you do it. Plus, we also pay for the training. So we pay you to take it, and we also cover the cost of the training. Now, some of this training that we do offer here for our new recruits is an internationally recognized training program. So we offer what we call NFPA, which is National Fire Protection Association 1001 Level 1. So that's the basic certification for professional firefighter. So if you go to say like Lakeland College or any fire school, something like that, you're looking at least between $15,000 and $20,000 bill for that course. Whereas with us here, we provide it. We pay you for your time while you're here. And another incentive that we offer here with the city of Lacombe is a completion bonus. So when you completed your course, you get a little bonus on top of that for basically putting up with us and pushing everybody through it and getting through it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So what would somebody, if somebody's considering applying, what would they expect from the actual job?
So the actual job, we require members. We have 4 crews here, and each crew is on call 1 week per month. Right, so it's week long rotation, Thursday to Thursday, and within that week, we expect that if there's a call, you have to basically respond to the call. We do allow for some variances like Monday to Friday from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. because we know that people are busy, they're working, and it's hard to get coverages. So we ask people just to work with us and help out. But basically, it's a week long every month. But even when you're on your off week, if we have a call, we'd still like people to respond as well, depending on what type of call it is, right?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So what are the requirements to apply? I know I was looking at the application, it's a pretty simple application.
Yep.
But what are the requirements to apply?
So 18 years of age, must live in the city of Lacombe, must have a current valid driver's license, and basically a clean criminal background. Uh, Other than that, a desire to serve the community and a willingness to be part of our family. That's one thing about the fire service is we are a large family around the world, and we look after ourselves. And yeah, if you want to come be part of our family, we're more than willing to take anybody.
Awesome. So you don't have to be like a parkour ninja or anything like that in order
No,
to, yeah.
no, I've made it this far without being a hardcore ninja, so it's pretty good.
There's still time. There's still
Yes,
time.
yeah, yeah.
All right. Um, and so they can apply if somebody is interested in applying, where can they find the applications?
So they can go to the City of Lacombe website and look up fire services. And we have a little link there on our recruitment stuff that has all this stuff detailed out in it. And basically, there's a link there for a checklist just to check off, make sure you can meet everything that's required. And send us an email at lfd.lacombe.ca. And like I said, we're going through them right now, and we'll be getting back to people here pretty quick.
All right. And you're hoping to be done by October 31st, right?
So October 31st is when we're going to halt taking applications for now. But people can apply all
All
year
right.
round. If something comes up throughout the year that somebody sees it and like, hey, I wouldn't mind trying that, by all means, submit your resume and we'll keep it on file. I've got a couple there from earlier this year already. Uh, but we usually try and lock it down by the end of October so we can get some interviews done, get some processes uh, in place so we can get our class basically set up for the new year.
So like it's really one of those, if you're not sure, but you think maybe, apply anyway, find out,
Yep.
like come have a chat, find out about it. Like don't decide for yourself that you can't participate. Don't
No.
decide for yourself that you can't be a firefighter with the city of Lacombe.
Mm-hmm.
Like come have a conversation.
Yeah, and like
Awesome.
I'm here Monday to Friday, 8 to 5. If somebody wants to drop by the fire station or give us a call anytime, we're more than willing to chat with people, show them around, show them what's involved in it. There's a lot of people that have never been in this fire station, and it's the city's fire
Mhm.
station. So if somebody wants to come in and check it out and see what's here, by all means, drop by.
You partly own it if you pay taxes here, right?
That's right, and the coffee's always on.
The coffee's always on and the hot chocolate during parade.
That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So let's go back in time. Dennis, you
Uh-oh.
can do sound effects if you want to. That's what the fingers are for. They're for fake sound effects. I'm not fancy enough to have real sound effects. When did you first become a firefighter?
So I became a firefighter back in 1990. Oh my gosh, 93. So originally I came from Gander, Newfoundland, and while I was living there, while I was in high school,
Okay.
the department in Gander started up what they call a junior fire department. So I went and checked that out and joined that. Worked up a couple years with that. Uh, Basically, the junior fire department we did some training, but we didn't respond to calls. And then when I turned 18, I moved into the actual firefighting role of it. So yeah, that was in '94 when I started with that. And yeah, it's a long time ago. Don't ask me
So
what I
you've
did back then.
always been a firefighter.
Yep.
I graduated in 93. I'm not going to say
Okay.
anything to you about that time. Yeah. We'll just say the music was bad and so were the clothes. So
Great. But it was fun.
yeah, choosing to be a firefighter. Yeah, but it was fun.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, it was. And so when did you move out here?
I moved out to Alberta about 15 years ago. Originally, I was only supposed to come out here for 3 months because I was working with the fire department in Gander at the time. Uh, One of the guys dropped into the station one day and said, "Hey, I'm going to Alberta to work for the winter. You want to come?" I said, "Sure." So I took a 3 month leave of absence and really haven't been back since.
Wow.
Yeah,
You came to Alberta in the winter and you stayed.
I know. Yeah,
Yeah. So not really strong decision making.
no, no. But yeah, I did some
So
work.
so if you were in Gander, that means you were there during 9/11.
Yep, yep.
So, what was that like? I'm sure that the fire department was called in to help with that.
Yeah, so the fire department played a big role throughout 9/11. So the role we took on was ground transportation for all the passengers. Basically, we were in charge of transporting passengers from the aircraft to the terminal and the terminal out to where they were staying, and vice versa when they were starting to depart.
And what was that like?
It was different. It's not something that you sign up as a firefighter to be doing that stuff, but as part of a small community, like everybody pitched in throughout 9/11 in Gander,
Hmm.
and that was just our portion of it. But it was it was different. It was very enlightening, and but it was if I had to do it again, I'd do it all over again. It was a long week, but it was well
Hmm.
worth it. And just seeing, like I seen every passenger that came off the aircrafts twice. So I seen them when they came in, and I seen them when they left. And the difference in seeing the passengers when they first got there, like they were terrified. They had no idea what
Hmm.
was going on. A lot of them didn't even know where in the world they were. All they kept getting from us was, "You're safe. You're in a good place. We need you to keep moving."
Mm.
So seeing them when they first
Really
came in,
succinct.
yeah. So seeing them when they first came into the terminal, like I said, they were scared. To a couple of days later, when they started leaving to head out again, they were like a big family. They were like a whole bunch of Newfoundlanders, and a
Hmm.
lot of them did become Newfoundlanders while they were there. But yeah, it was certainly interesting.
It doesn't take long to become a Newfoundlander or to
No,
want to become one when you're
yeah,
there, right?
yeah,
Yeah. All right. So you joined the junior firefighters. Was there somebody who inspired you or somebody who mentored you in that direction?
yeah. So one of my uncles, he passed away here a little while ago, but he was the fire chief from a little town where my mother's from in Hartsdale Lake, Newfoundland. So watched him through the years and just always been interested in it. So when I got the opportunity to get into it, yeah, it just seemed like a natural fit for myself.
So he was the one that you were like, yeah, that looks like a good gig.
Yep.
Yeah. When you were 18, how well did it fit with your lifestyle? So if there's an 18-year-old considering applying now, how did that fit with an 18-year-old's lifestyle for
It
you?
sort of it sort of helped out because 18 years old, you sort of really don't know where you want to go or what you want to do. But it brought me to bonding with some older people, some mentors, some great mentors over the years. But back when I was 18, it sort of helped keep you on the straight and narrow and like put you on a path of what you wanted to do.
And probably some discipline, some self-discipline,
Yep,
stuff like that.
absolutely. Lots of that. Lots self-discipline, responsibility. That's a big one. Like we were responsible for being on call and stuff like that. So you had to make sure that you were available for when you needed to go.
So when you first started, what was it like versus what you thought it would be like?
Okay, now we're going way back. Uh, I won't say it was any different than what I thought. It was kind of what I expected. No doubt there was some stuff that did come up throughout the early years that sort of made me step back and be like, "Oh, I'm not sure about this." But you know what? I've always used the mentality that we have a job to do, and we need to do that to our best ability, and we'll just move on to the next one, right? So,
Hmm. Were you prepared, like as a firefighter, you're going to have some really great moments, but you're also going to have some really tough moments.
yeah.
Were you prepared for those when you were 18?
To say I was would be an understatement. No, not really. Nobody can be prepared for the stuff that you see, especially at 18 years old, right? Uh,
Hmm.
a lot of people say, "Oh yeah, I can do that." You don't really know until you actually get faced with it, and then that's when the breaking
Hmm.
point comes that either you can do it or you can't do it. But like I said, my biggest thing is we have a job to do, And I remember one of my captains years ago, we're going out to an accident, and all they kept telling me is like, whatever we do, a family will appreciate it, right? So that's my mentality. That's what I've always been like, is that no matter what we do, somebody's going to appreciate what we do.
Hmm. And that probably comes down to that firefighter family, right?
Yes.
There will be people who catch you
Yep.
and who have your back through that
Mhm.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and each of you, yeah.
Yeah. That's one thing about it, like we are a large family. Everybody looks after everybody, right? Like um, even since I've been here in Lacombe, we all look after each other. We've had some bad calls. We've had some good calls, I guess, if you can call it a good call. But uh, that stuff goes good. Uh, that tries and offsets the bad ones. But if there is a bad call, we have a great connection here, great support method with each member, and yeah, everybody looks after everybody. Nobody goes home alone.
There's got to be some calls where you're just like high five, like, man, we nailed that. Where, like they're just they just did the situation didn't stand a chance against you guys.
Yep.
Yeah, and so what's that like when you go back to the hall after one of those? Is it as exhausting?
Uh, Physically, it's exhausting. Mentally, it's like it just lifts everybody right out of their boots, and it just pushes everybody, and everybody gets riled up, and yeah, we're like ready to rock and roll again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like
So
somebody is going out.
yeah,
Let's do that again.
yeah. So like the bad calls that we do get, because we do get some bad calls that you know what,
Mhm.
those get forgotten about, and we just live on the good stuff, keep going, and keep building on it.
Mhm. Um, what is the job like today versus 1994?
Some things have changed. I know, like our equipment, our personal protective equipment has changed, obviously for the better over the years. The stuff that we have now is leading edge. We're very well protected when we go into any hazardous atmospheres. Uh, the trucks have come a long way, and just everything we do. One thing about it, the old adage goes, fire is fire. Really hasn't changed over the years, but the way fires burn these days is totally different than what it was back 20 odd years ago. Because back then you had heavy wood, stuff burned slower. It wasn't so violent as what it is these days. Whereas now you've got a lot of stuff is plastic. It goes up really fast. Fires spread fast. When I first started in the service, there was, I think you had a survivability about between 12 and 15 minutes to get out of a house. Now you're talking less than between 90 and 120 seconds.
Wow.
How fast stuff goes up these days, right? So that would be the biggest change for me, is just the fact that how much fire has evolved over the years because of the material that we're using in the households for construction and everywhere we are these days.
So that must require a lot of like regular training.
Yeah, so it's continuous training. That's one thing about the fire service. You never stop learning. We have some lessons that some people look and like, oh, we're doing that again. But after the end of the night, after training's done, they've picked up on something else, right? And it's
Hmm.
continuous. It's repetitive, and that's how we learn. That's how we grow. That's how we get the new people into it. Is we just continually keep doing it.
Hmm. And is it a little bit fascinating as well? Like how things have changed and how there's different combustibles and different ways different that the fire moves or that situations happen.
Yeah. So the thing now is we have to be quicker at our game. Like before, we had some lead time. We could like it wasn't so much of a rush, but these days now, every second counts. So if there's somebody trapped inside of a house or a building or something like that, it's every second. So that's when we get our game faces on, and
Mhm.
we start to go hard really fast.
Parkour ninja.
Yes, there you go. Just without the body.
But you can be fast if you need to.
Yeah.
Um, and the technology has changed a little bit, but
Hmm.
not significantly.
Yeah.
It's
So
more how you have to deal with it?
yeah, and there's been technology developed over the years. Like I remember when I first started, uh, you walk into a building, it was black, you couldn't see nothing. There was no tools available to help you see. You turn on a flashlight, it didn't do any good for you because you can't see anything.
Mhm.
So today now we have what we call thermal imaging cameras. And what those do is they're actual video cameras that they let us see through the smoke. They detect different levels of heat. So to walk
Oh,
into a room now that's uh, full of smoke and you can't see your hand in front of your face, you put this camera up in front of you and you can see everything that's inside. So it makes our job quicker and easier for
right.
locating fire, locating people, anything like that, because we can see them a lot quicker.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's cool.
yeah,
Yeah. It's kinda like something from the movies.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So if you see like people watch the news and see the traffic helicopters and that with their night vision and stuff like that, it's pretty
Uh-huh.
much the same sort of technology as that.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And does everyone get that, or is there like how is the structure of a crew that goes in? Does everyone have a specific job, or does everyone just kind of work together?
Everybody has a specific job. So when we respond, like if we respond to a house fire here in the city, uh, we'll have an engine that'll go first, and on that engine we'll have a driver, officer, and two firefighters. So that's our initial crew. Immediately following that, as soon as people get here, we start rolling secondary trucks out through the door with more people on it. So, but the first truck that gets to a scene, they're going to be the workhorses for a few minutes until the rest of the crew gets there. But everybody knows what they need to do. Usually, if myself or one of the deputy chiefs are on scene first, we'll let them know what's going on before they arrive so they can get sort of a little game plan between themselves. But everybody knows their tasks, they know their job and what they have to do, where everything is. We drill people constantly on the equipment that we have here, the location of the equipment, so that it's just second nature that you know exactly where the tool is that you need and you go get it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So one thing I didn't know when I first moved to Lacombe is that the firefighters have a green light in their vehicles.
Yep.
So if you're watching and you are recent to Lacombe, if you see a vehicle behind you and they've got a green light flashing, get out of their way. They're a firefighter. They're going to a call. Just pull over, let them go past you. They have
Yep.
that for a reason.
Yeah. So the reason behind the green light is just what you said. It gets our firefighters to the station quicker, right? Because there's something going on and somebody needs our help. And it's just to identify to the other motoring public that that's what that person is. So if you wouldn't mind, we're not saying that you have to, but if you wouldn't mind, please just pull over and let us go. One thing about the members that are running green lights, they still have to abide by all the rules of the road, right? So stop signs, red lights, all that stuff. But it's just something in the in betweens that people
Mhm.
can help us out to get us to the station a bit quicker.
How else can we help you out? Um, I mean, I think about the fire plans that we had when I was a kid. Obviously, like you said, the structures we grew up in were different. Um, so is that's probably part of it is in actually investing in making sure that you have a fire an escape plan in your
Mhm.
home, things like that. What does that look like now? Do we still do the take time to feel the bedroom before you leave, or do you just get the hell out?
So one thing about it, fire prevention is big. Uh, One thing about the fire service too is that we're always trying to work ourselves out of a job by
Hmm.
doing fire prevention. So some of the stuff with that is, yeah, exactly what you said. Have a fire escape plan, right? No two ways out of your house. If your smoke detector's going off, by all means, check your door. Make sure it's not hot. If it is hot, keep it closed, right? And use an alternative escape route. I do lots of talks with kids. I like younger kids talking to them because you tell them to do something, and next thing they're going home and it's getting done.
Hmm.
So the other thing too is working smoke detectors. We want to stress that. We stress it through fire prevention week too. Is that make sure your smoke detector is working, right? So one thing people uh, do is they push the button just to make sure that it's working. That's pushing the button to make sure that the beeper is working. What we also recommend is to either use some like fake smoke or like take a candle, snuff it out, and let it get up because you want to test the actual sensor is going to work, right?
Hmm.
Another thing we recommend too with smoke detectors, if you're vacuuming, every now and then take your vacuum up around your smoke detector because we all know that houses have
Oh,
dust everywhere. So just take it, do a little clean out around your smoke detector, pull all that old dust out of it so that if needed, it will work.
gotcha. My kids would say that I test it often every time that I make pancakes because
Yeah,
I get easily distracted.
yeah, we get
Yeah.
that lots. And that's why, like here recently, Fire Prevention Week, we had a big focus on kitchen safety because we all know now we're in this COVID pandemic, and there's a lot of people that
Mhm.
are staying home. They're not going to restaurants, they're cooking themselves. We're finding out that we do have a lot of actual star chefs in these houses these days,
Mm.
but there's some that still need a little bit of cooking lessons. And so we're reminding people that when you are doing cooking, be attentive, pay attention to what you're doing. Don't turn the
Yeah.
stove on and walk away. If you're tired, please don't cook. Lie down, have a
Mm.
nap, and do it after. So we just want to make sure that people are paying attention to that stuff and help us out that way because
Yeah.
a kitchen fire can turn devastating real fast.
I saw a video the other day on how quickly a grease fire can go if you add water to it.
Absolutely. You want to see fireworks? That'll do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the biggest thing with if you're cooking with grease or anything like that, and something does catch on fire, turn the burner off. Make sure you have a lid next to you. Take your lid, put it over, and what does that do? It removes the oxygen from the fire, so it puts it out for you. And just leave it alone. Let it cool down. One thing we don't want to see people doing is panicking, grabbing that pan that's got the grease that's on fire and that, and start moving it because I've
Mm.
seen kitchens completely destroyed because people panic and they try to move it to the sink, which is your natural reaction, right?
Yeah,
So please
exactly.
just put a lid on it, turn it off, let it cool down, and it'll be fine.
Now I've heard other little things like don't run your dishwasher if you're not going to be home. Um, and things like that, starting appliances and then leaving.
Mhm.
Um, i- is that accurate? Is that
It's not a good practice to be doing. Uh, one thing I like to not do is like turn the dryer on, clothes dryer, right? Clothes dryers, we don't clean them out so often as we should. We should be cleaning them out at least a couple of times a year because that lint that we pull out of the lint trap, that's in your ductwork as well. So you want to make sure that that stuff gets cleaned out. So just try and avoid turning that stuff on when you're not home. Will reduce the chance of that anything like that happening.
now as a firefighter, you don't just respond to fire alarms, right? You respond to accidents. What other situations would the Lacombe Fire Hall respond to?
So we respond to, like I said, fires is the obvious one, but fires is our very minor one right now. We go to alarms. So a lot of people have the residential fire alarms in their homes these days. So people cooking, changing batteries, stuff like that. Please, if you're going to have something like that happen, just make sure you let your alarm company know that you're going to be changing a battery. Or if it is a cooking incident, your alarm company will call us first, and then they'll attempt to contact you.
Mm.
So just make sure that you're there when they contact you to verify it, right? Because we don't mind coming, but some
It's going to
people
be
don't.
embarrassing though.
Yeah, some people don't like having the big red truck show up in front of their house when the husband's been cooking.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
So yeah, stuff like that. Other stuff we respond to, yeah, we respond to accidents. Uh, this past weekend, we were out on Highway 2 twice on Saturday. We had a busy day on Saturday. We had 5 calls on Saturday.
wow.
Um, we respond to vehicle fires, car accidents, alarms. We do rescue calls as well. We have a Zodiac rescue boat here in the station. So we do a portion of Gull Lake to assist the Bentley Fire Department out in the county. We do wildland fires, grass fires. We have equipment trucks and that here that are able to go out into the fields and look after that stuff as well.
So pretty diverse.
Yeah, yeah.
What would you say is the coolest part of your job?
I'd say the coolest part of my job is driving a red truck with lights and sirens.
Right?
Yeah, yeah. No, I would say
Like,
the biggest thing I enjoy about my job is talking to the public, being out there, letting people know that this is your fire department. We're here to serve you. If there's something wrong, please call us. We'll come help. That's what we're all in this job for. I enjoy speaking to kids. Uh, with COVID going on now, we can't even really get into the schools. But
mhm.
I love sitting down with a group of kindergartens or grade ones and just hearing their stories because every kid in kindergarten has a story.
I bet they do.
Yeah. But the nice thing about it is that, like I said earlier, with the fire prevention stuff, is if I tell a grade one or a kindergarten kid, listen, I want you to go home tonight and tell mom and dad you need to test your smoke detector, it gets done.
Mhm.
They take it home, and I've had parents come to me after, is like, stop telling their kids because they're driving us nuts. But it works. The message gets home, and the kids won't stop until it actually gets done, right? So
Yeah, yeah, if
that
you
would
want
be
something done, enlist a 5-year-old.
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, you heard it here. That's the new life rule.
Yeah.
Um, when you've had a tough day, what gets you to work the next day?
So since I've been in the fire service, this is 25 years for me now. Coming to work every day, to me, I'm not coming to a job. It's coming to a lifestyle. This is what I enjoy doing. Uh, I don't mind getting up every morning, putting the uniform on. I don't mind getting up at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning when we get called out for something. To me, it's been part of my life ever since I've been basically still in high school. But I enjoy it. It's fun. There's a lot of rewarding moments. Uh, just going in parades and that, seeing kids' faces because they see the fire trucks and coming to the
Mhm.
station and just being amazed by the size of the trucks and that, like all that plays into the job. And yeah, I don't really classify it as going to work. It's just another part of my life.
Yeah, that's very, very cool.
Mm.
Um, so if somebody does want to apply and they already have a job, how does this work with people who have other employment?
So, um, with our on-call schedule, like I said, it's Thursday to Thursday, and but during the week, during business hours, we don't. It's not mandated that everybody has to come to a call, but we have a lot of employers in this city that support the fire department. I can think of a couple now, like Pentagon here. They let our members come. We have PV Mart. They support our department and let our members come for calls and that. So organizations get behind their department within the communities, and yes, there is some places that they can't go just because their job is vital to keep the business running, and we understand that,
Mhm.
and we just appreciate that the times that they're not working, that people can still come. So one thing I've always said about the fire service: your family comes first, your job comes second, and the fire department comes third, but we are part of your family.
So even if you can't do it perfectly, even if you can't 100% commit all of the hours, you should still apply if you think this is a fit for you.
Yep, absolutely. And with the guys that we got here on the department, everybody works with everybody. So if somebody needs a cover for like a night or a day or a weekend or something like that, they just put a message out on our messaging board, and usually it gets picked up pretty quick. So we're all here to help each other out, and because if somebody needs some time covered one day, the other person could need it the next day. So everybody works together to get the job done.
And how much do you, as a crew, cringe whenever somebody mentions a calendar?
So I've been here since April, yeah, 1st of April, and I've heard all about these calendars, and I've yet to see it. I don't know where the guys are hiding it to, but I've yet to see it.
So we have a we don't know yet answer right
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
All right. Do you have anything you want to add that we haven't covered, Dennis?
Uh, the thing I like to add is just, you know what? If you're either been interested in it, in becoming a firefighter, come on down, talk to us. We have firefighters all the way throughout the city. If you know of somebody, reach out to that person, talk to them. Uh, Shoot us a message on our Facebook page, our Instagram page. We're always willing to answer questions, and just come try it out. It could be a life-changing thing for yourself that you've always wanted to try, and you finally got the opportunity to get into it. And yeah, by all means, like I said, we look after each other. Nobody fails at this job. We all make sure that everybody succeeds and we win at the end of the day.
It sounds like I don't know how you would not get more applications after hearing
Mhm.
you talk about it. I think that there's just so much more to it than most of us think when we just think about basically the superhero in the movie. I
Mm.
still think you guys are superheroes. You just don't have the Iron Man costume.
Mm.
But it sounds fascinating. So if you are watching again, you can go to the City of website to the firefighter tab. Is that correct?
Yeah, fire department.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, the fire department tab. And there is a checklist there, and then you can just make sure you have everything that's on the checklist. It's a very simple
it
checklist.
is. Yeah,
And then you can email the fire department at lfd@lacombe.ca.
that's it.
Um, or you can reach out to them. Dennis's preferred way is through Instagram. I'm just saying that is probably not true.
My
Or
preferred,
on
my
Facebook.
my preferred way is in person. Drop by the
So
station,
drop by.
say hello. If you see the trucks out somewhere, like after a call or during a training night or anything like that, by all
Mhm.
means, come on over, approach us, talk to us. We had an open house here a couple weeks ago for Fire Prevention Week, and we've got 2 applicants from the open house that put in their applications. So they just came over, asked a bunch of questions, and yeah, submitted the resume. So just come talk to us. One thing about it, I always preach, and every member of this department can verify it, that at the end of every training night, my last thing is, did we have fun? And if we had fun, it was a successful night.
If it ends with laughter, right?
Absolutely.
Awesome. All right, and just a reminder, if you're watching and you live in the city of Lacombe, the fire hall is your fire hall. So if you have a kid who loves fire trucks, or if you have questions, if you need a fire plan, anything like that,
Mhm.
drop by the fire hall. They're there for you too.
Yep, absolutely.
All right. Well, I really appreciate you spending Monday evening with me.
I appreciate
Uh,
the time.
Despite our nobody knows about our technical difficulties, but we worked through them.
We got it done.
Oh, all right, we got it done.
Yeah.
I appreciate you joining me. This is going to be downloaded and uploaded to YouTube in the next couple days, and I'll send you guys that link too.
Awesome. Appreciate it very much,
All
Joe.
right. Okay. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Thank you. Take
We're
care.
out. Thanks, Dennis.
Alrighty.